Unboxing and installation video tutorial X17. Tools required.
Use scissors to cut off the packing straps. Subsequently, remove the packing carton. Remove the accessory packing carton fixed to the iron frame. Take it off and set it aside for standby use. Use a pair of scissors to cut the cable tie, then detach the front wheel rim assembly that is fastened to the metal frame. Take it off and set it aside for standby use. Cut off the two securing cable ties at the front headstock. Use an M14 socket wrench to unscrew and remove all the fixing bolts located at the bottom of the packaging metal frame. Take care to detach the packaging iron frame, as well as the protective film and expanded polyethylene foam that are used to protect the motorcycle body. Cut the two cable ties fixed on the left and right sides of the vehicle body. Use a 17mm box end wrench to hold the front wheel axle in place. Then use a 19mm box end wrench to loosen the front wheel axle nut and remove the nut. Ask an assistant to lift the front forks so that they do not press against the front wheel axle. Then remove the axle and spacers. Set the front wheel axle and spacers aside for later use. Work together with an assistant to lift the motorcycle onto the repair stand for subsequent installation. Cut all the cable ties on the left side of the swing arm, then remove the side stand and EPE foam. Set the side stand aside for later use. Cut all the cable ties on the right side of the swing arm, then remove the EPE foam. Detach the front fender that is mounted above the front wheel. Set it aside for later use. Remove the number plate. Set it aside for later use. Cut the cable ties securing the handlebar at the upper and lower positions, then set it aside for installation. Open the packing carton that contains motorcycle accessories, then remove all the spare parts from it. Install the pressure block. Install the hold-down block with the stepped side facing backward into the mounting hole at the rear of the upper triple clamp. After installation, tighten the mounting bolts to ensure they are securely fastened. Install the upper hold-down block. Peel off the protective film on the handlebar and place the handlebar into the mounting groove of the hold-down block. No removal demonstration will be conducted here to prevent scratching the handlebar. Place the upper hold-down block on the lower hold-down block, then screw in the mounting bolts by hand. Adjust the handlebar angle, then use an M6 hex key to tighten the hold-down block and ensure it is securely fastened. Install the front fender. Use an M8 socket to remove the 4 flange face bolts on the lower triple clamp. Install a flat washer on each bolt. Pass the bolts through the mounting holes of the front fender and screw on the 4 bolts. Then tighten the 4 bolts with an M8 socket. Install the number plate. Use an M8 socket to remove the number plate mounting bolt / on the upper triple clamp. Clip the front brake hose into the front brake hose retaining groove on the number plate. Insert the 2 locating pins of the number plate into the locating holes on the front fender.
Finally, tighten the number plate with an M8 socket. Use an M10 socket to remove the front brake caliper. Route the front brake hose around the inner side of the shock absorber. Remove the remaining mounting bolt on the brake bracket, take off the retaining tab between the brake pads, and pry the brake pads open with a flathead screwdriver if the gap between them is too narrow. Finally, refit the front brake caliper to the foot mounting hole of the right front shock absorber. Install the front wheel. Remove the front wheel axle nut and spacer. Pass the front wheel axle through the mounting hole of the right front shock absorber, then slide the shorter front wheel spacer onto the front wheel axle. Push the front wheel in and slide the brake disc into the gap between the brake pads. Lift the front wheel to align the mounting holes of the hub core with the front wheel axle. Then pass the front wheel axle through the hub core. Then insert the longer front wheel spacer into the left side gap of the hub core and pass it through the front wheel axle. Finally, screw on the front wheel axle nut by hand. Secure the front wheel axle with an M17 box end wrench. Then tighten the front wheel axle nut firmly using an M19 box end wrench to ensure full fastening. Loosen the bolts of the front brake hose clip with an M3 hex key. Then remove the front brake hose clip. Insert the rubber boot of the front brake hose into the mounting groove. Then refit the front brake hose clip. Install the rear shock absorber. Remove the nut. Lift the rear wheel to align the mounting holes of the rear shock absorber with those of the rear swing arm. Then pass the mounting bolt through. Remove the rear brake hose from the rear brake hose clip. Use an M14 open-end wrench to hold the nut in place. Tighten the rear shock absorber bolt with an M30 in socket to secure it. Snap the rear brake hose back into the hose clip. Install the footrest gear. Use needle nose pliers to straighten out the split end of the cotter pin on the footrest pin. Remove the cotter pin, then pull out the footrest pin. Align the mounting holes of the footrest gear with those of the footrest bracket on the frame, then pass the footrest pin through the aligned holes. Finally, use needle nose pliers to bend the cotter pin. Install the side stand. Remove the side stand mounting bolt with an M17 socket. Align the side stand with the mounting holes of the side stand bracket on the frame, insert the mounting bolt, and then tighten the side stand mounting bolt with an M17 socket. First, hook the side stand spring onto the retaining groove of the spring pin. Then use a Phillips screwdriver to secure the spring into the retaining groove of the spring pin on the side stand. Install the chest protector and breathing tube. Insert either end of the chest protector tube into the vent hole of the fuel tank cap. Peel open the Velcro on the chest protector cover and take out the chest protector padding. Flex open the slots on the chest protector padding and snap it onto the crossbar. Wrap the chest protector cover around the chest protector padding. Secure the wire harness with the frame cable tie located on the left side of the head tube. Loosen the removal bolt at the rear of the seat cushion and remove the seat cushion. Loosen the removal bolt at the rear of the seat cushion and remove the seat cushion. Remove the bolts and nuts attached to the battery. Carefully place the nut inside the battery terminal. Fasten the wiring ports on the wire harness to the positive and negative terminals of the battery according to the color coding, using a Phillips screwdriver. Fasten the wiring ports on the wire harness to the positive and negative terminals of the battery according to the color coding, using a Phillips screwdriver. Refight the seat cushion into position. Remove the bubble bag and protective film from the handlebar.